Let's go to Virginie Maisonneuve. She's head of global and international equities at Schroders Investment Management. Virginie, thanks a lot for joining us. Well, that is the question. What does 2010 hold for us? Do we have more of the same as we had from March, generally speaking, this year?
I don't think so. Good morning. I don't think so. I think that between now and April 2010, you're going to see a lot of volatility. And I think that volatility is going to be anchored around 2 or 3 key points. One of which is that the base effect that's been very positive that we've had starting particularly in the fourth quarter of 2009, but also the first quarter of 2010, as the first quarter 2009 was very bad, that is fading away, and the year-on-year comparisons, the numbers for the companies are not going to be as positive. Number 2, investors are going to want to start discounting when we remove ourselves or withdraw quantitative easing, and clearly it's very difficult. You've seen that the countries who were not in the eye of the storms, China and Australia, etc., have started to take away some of the measures that they had put in for fear of contagion. However, if you look at the UK, Europe, and the US, which are really at the core of the financial crisis that we've had, it's a much more difficult environment. So investors are going to be looking at this and wondering when that is happening, and that's going to create volatility.
Yeah, Virginie, you write about a tale of 2 realities. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, well, the true reality is that on a longer term basis, clearly, I think that the big nightmare for governments would be to tighten too early. And that means that we have a lot of liquidity that we've already injected, but that if anything, because of that fear, will tighten too late. And therefore, the markets are being very, very supported by this liquidity. So the volatility that you'll see between now and April, I think are going to be very good opportunities to get into the equity market, because the long-term picture, given all the strong dynamic trends going on and the liquidity support, makes it very positive for the equity markets, as well as for resources and energy.
Yeah, Virginie, you talk about resources and energy, and of course we've got the Copenhagen Earth Summit taking place right now. What does that tell us about the long term in terms of investing into green issues and green themes?
Yes, I think, some of the key themes that I think are absolutely crucial are, one of them is climate change, and I see this as the new industrial revolution, if you want.
But it's been going on for some time, Virginie. I mean, surely
Yes.
A lot of this is just priced in.
Some of it is priced in, some of it is not, because for me, the term industrial revolution means a lot of innovation. So there's a lot of innovation and a lot of new technologies that we are about to invent. The fact is that resources are finite, and that the growth, the structure of world growth is shifting. On the purchasing power parity basis, currently over 50% of world GDP growth comes from emerging markets. And that is my other theme, which is super cycle. The role of emerging markets onto the global economy is increasing, putting more pressure in terms of demand for resources and energy.
But what about, we see what happened with Dubai and the bailout that we've had today from Abu Dhabi, $10 billion worth there. What does that tell us about the state of some of these economies? You have to tread carefully, don't you? What do you make of the Dubai situation?
I think the key thing is clearly you want to buy quality stocks. You want to be very careful about the balance sheets that you're buying. You want very low leverage or very reasonable leverage. You also want to buy into very strong leading teams and companies, and have sustainability of the earnings power in the companies that you're buying. And I think that's really essential. We're seeing it again with the financials, where some of the lower quality financials in Europe, with maybe capital ratios not to what we expect bank regulators to impose, new rules, are going to be under very intense pressure.
Virginie, we're out of time, but thank you so much for joining us. Virginie Maisonneuve, joining us from Schroders.